All right, we're back, Michael. We did so well. We actually did do surprisingly well, believe it or not, even though a few people were offended and a few were really excited about our picks. Um, we throw the disclaimer out. We don't know what we're talking about, but
No.
we did do extremely well last week on our picks. So we're going to attempt to do it again in the second round here of the Parker brothers piss off people with their playoff picks, right? All those
There's only
people.
half as many people to piss off this week. That's the good
Yeah,
news.
that's the good news. But we're giving motivation to those guys that need it. I mean, anybody playing this deep in the year is pretty good. First off,
Yeah.
joking aside, anybody playing this week's pretty good, and they've had a good season. And coaches just make up stuff to motivate them. Everybody thinks they're all good, but we're going to give them a little bit of something to use, right? I mean, we're just
Yeah.
trying to help out, doing our part. Um, all right, so we're going to start in 6A today, and 6A was there was one massive upset, Michael,
There
Walton over
was.
McEachern, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of that. Other than that, I think a lot of the games that we kind of thought how they were going to go. So in the top left of the bracket, we got Colquitt County who beat Mill Creek 35-17. The game was a lot closer than that score showed. I actually watched that one in the studio. And Grayson and Norcross, Grayson wins big. So now it's Grayson versus Colquitt County. Um, I got Grayson. And it's not because Colquitt County's not good. It's just Grayson is literally the number one team in the nation right now in the High
Right.
School Football America 300. So hard to not pick them there, even though I think I think this is the beginning of a gauntlet
Oh,
that
yeah.
Grayson will have to run to win the state championship.
Hmm.
And I'm going to say Grayson wins, but Colquitt is good enough to beat them if they play really well.
Yeah. I mean, there, whoever wins out of that, like that is a tough bracket because the winner of this game is most likely going to run into Carrollton in the next round. But I'm with you. I'm going to go Grayson. Colquitt. They unfortunately had to drive to Metro Atlanta last week and then got to turn around and do it again this week. And that's going to be a hard task.
I mean, that does kind of matter, driving,
Well,
it's a
high
long
school
way.
kids aren't used to that too. It's not like college is you are used to it. You do travel a little bit more, but
Yeah, it's a long way from Moultrie
yeah,
to Gwinnett County and then back from Moultrie to Gwinnett County. So,
yeah.
although I was really impressed with Colquitt County and how they played Mill Creek, I watched that one. And by the way, my we did six picks on the radio show. I was 5-1, won the pick there too. So I used my same picks. I didn't deviate, but I only
Mhm.
just picked six games, not like 60 or whatever we did before.
Right.
Um, but 5-1 for anybody keeping score. And there's proof of that. You go to the Odyssey app and check that out. So we both had these right. I think both of us had Colquitt, both of us had Grayson. Uh, I had Harrison. Did you have Harrison or Marietta winning the game with Harrison and
Oh,
Marietta?
I
I
can't
think you had
remember.
Harrison too. Yeah, I know you liked Marietta. You'd seen him play, but you thought Harrison would be too much. Harrison gets the win. And then Northside versus Carrollton. Northside got a good program, got a good team, but they're really no match for
That's not a
Carrollton.
matchup. Yeah.
No shame there. Carrollton wins big. So now it's Carrollton versus Harrison. We have both of these right. But I'm going chalk. I mean, it's hard.
Hmm.
We're just picking wins. We're not picking against the spread, which would be a
Right.
little harder. But I'll pick up. I guess the spread I might would take Harrison because I can actually see Harrison. I don't know what a spread would be here. I can see
Yeah.
Harrison making this closer than what you would think.
Hmm.
But I think
Yeah.
Carrollton.
Yeah. I mean, Harrison, I'm pretty sure Harrison only has lost one game, but again, I think they're just this is
Mhm.
this they're going to be a little bit overmatched, and I think Carrollton's going to advance in this one.
Yeah, Carrollton's just really good. Really.
Mhm.
All right, so Collins Hill and Lowndes. Lowndes with the big win at home. North Gwinnett, South Gwinnett. North Gwinnett with the big win at home. Those are both games we had right. Now we're moving to Lowndes versus North Gwinnett, which is the GPB game, which means the
Okay.
network thinks it's the best game on the board. I think I agree. I think in this bracket, I think this is the best game on the board. Um, and I'm going North Gwinnett.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could argue about the Grayson Colquitt being equally as good game. But I'm gonna agree with you. I'm going North Gwinnett here. So
Sneaky
far
close.
we have not
We've not
disagreed on
disagreed
anything
yet,
yet. Yeah.
but this would be a disagree because I actually think a lot of people would pick Lowndes here, and I think Lowndes easily could win this game. I'm not saying they
Oh,
can't.
absolutely.
I think Lowndes, they may even will be a computer favorite, but North Gwinnett. got beat up pretty good in the first game against Douglas County. But that was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they have really improved, and I've really been impressed with what they've done. The coaching staff does a great job. Both these coaching staffs really do a good job. This is going to be some heavyweight football coaches in this Lowndes versus North Gwinnett game. But if you're, the point of the show is we got to pick. So I'll pick North Gwinnett, and we'll piss off the Lowndes people. There's a lot of them, so we may regret that one if they win.
Yeah.
But I'll take North Gwinnett. Hillgrove and West Forsyth. This is one where you pick the homer pick, I assume. I had Hillgrove and I had West Forsyth. I think you had North Paulding and West Forsyth. No, you had Hillgrove too.
Yeah.
You had Hillgrove too. I think the only one you didn't have was Marietta. So Hillgrove, West Forsyth. I'm stepping into the bad guy role here. Hillgrove.
Yeah, I mean, I could like it is going to be it's going to be a very good game. I think I'll be shocked if it's not. And Deshaun does a good job. So, but I still got to stick with the home team and go
Well, yeah,
West Forsyth.
there is a caveat. If the place pays you, you're kind of obligated.
Mm.
But I will tell you this.
I'll be honest too, that I mean, offensively, the best game they played all year was probably last Friday. So if they can keep that ball rolling, they've gotten some people back, which was helpful for them. So I mean, if they can play like that again, then I think they're
I
in
think
good
in the
shape.
playoffs, in the playoffs, matchups are critical.
Correct.
Especially at the higher level.
Correct.
And so, like that McEachern and
Walton.
Walton matchup was horrible for McEachern. We
Mhm.
having beaten them in the first game like 50 something to whatever, and then
Right.
same team in the county. Anyway, we'll get to that. But I thought West Forsyth had a bad matchup. Like I picked West Forsyth, but I actually thought it was going to be like really close. And for a minute,
It was really
it was
close.
28-14.
Yeah.
28-14, Westlake was winning.
Mm-hmm.
Ended up being 42-28. West Forsyth scored 4 touchdowns in a row to pull away, but that wasn't a good matchup. This may even be a better matchup for West Forsyth, as far as I think they're going to play the style of play that West Forsyth's more accustomed to playing, has proven to be good against.
Yeah.
But Hillgrove's kind of battle tested. I thought it was a big win they had over North Paulding, and I'm gonna have that's an upset for me. I mean, West Forsyth's reading champ; they're definitely the favorite. I'm going Hillgrove in the upset.
Mm-hmm.
On the other side of the bracket, also, let me go back. If West wins, though, Michael, it'll be the first time they won 10 games since 2012. So in 14 years, 13 seasons, they would have won 10 games. So going back to the Frank Hepler days.
Okay.
So, yeah, it could be a big win there for them. And if Hillgrove wins, be a big one for them. All right. So here's where we made a mistake.
There's a double upset here.
I had Denmark over East Coweta.
Yeah.
But East Coweta beat Denmark. They were 3-7 coming into the game.
Right.
Now 4-7.
They got a home game.
Yeah. You don't see many 4-7 home games.
No.
I don't have this, but maybe our friend Todd Holcomb can look this up. If anybody with 4 wins in the second round of the playoffs, which means they had to have 3 coming in,
right,
has ever hosted a playoff game. That would be a good trivia question. I don't even know how to go about looking that up. But Denmark goes down to East Coweta. East Coweta played a brutal schedule. We talked about their schedule last, and it got them ready. So they played a good game against a good Denmark team. And then Walton and McEachern mentioned already 3 times, I think, that I just thought it was a bad matchup. And on the show, it wasn't one of the games I picked. But we talked about matchups on the radio show live Friday, like at 7 o'clock, right before games are starting. And I used that example. I said, well, you got teams that are playing in the same county. Both these teams are from Cobb County. Both these teams know each other. McEachern won huge in the first game. I want to say it was 50-something to 17. Anyway, it was just a recipe for, like, if you're the coach at McEachern, it's like, can we please get out of here?
Right.
Just get the win and move out of here. And I don't really have a lot of emotions about who wins and loses anymore. I really want all the guys to do well, but I just hope both teams play hard, or whatever that cheesy saying. But But I did feel for the McEachern guys. Like it's a tough draw. But what a great win for Walton. You know,
Yeah.
Coach Bruner and his staff did a great job coming in. They always have them ready. They've gotten better all year. They're kind of young. You know, you watch out for them down the road. But one of these teams, Walton or East Coweta, will
Well,
be
to the
making
Elite
their
Eight.
way to the quarterfinals. How about that?
Yeah.
And my guess is our friends at Walton on the road 2 weeks in a row. I got them going to Sharpsburg.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I'm going to go Walton too, and I don't necessarily. I mean, technically, it's an upset based on numbers, but I bet once
Yeah, the
if the
computer may
computers
have it
come out,
different.
I think that Walton will technically be the favorite, um, and so I expect them to win.
Yeah, just peaking at the right time. But I can see East Coweta winning. They're both these teams struggled, and both teams showed a lot of character in not letting a record define them and just getting better and getting better and getting better. And it showed up last Friday. And so really that's good for people to see. You know, people that start the year out 1-3 or they're 2-6 at some point and they got to win the last two to get in the playoffs and they feel like they're limping in. You know, it's a great example right there of this tournament, especially in 6A, is just a
Hmm.
damn battle. You know, and you just got to get in there and try to win the game, no matter what your record is. Brookwood beat Archer and Valdosta beat Decula in somewhat uninteresting games, even though Decula hung with Valdosta for a while.
Yeah,
Um, we both had those two right. I got Valdosta beating Brookwood, but I think Brookwood will give them more than they want, but it's down in Valdosta.
I was about to
I mean,
say, yeah,
obviously, long ride.
yeah.
I got Valdosta. Who you got?
So I mean, I appreciate Brookwood took my coaching insight and they just handed the ball off a bunch, and they had two guys. I think they rushed for close to 200 yards between two guys, and I don't think they're going to be able to do that against Valdosta. So I'm going with the Wildcats.
You got the Wildcats. Tell you something, the Wildcats, they won the state championship in 2016. Okay. But that was in 6A when there was seven.
Right. Second highest.
Okay. When they've been in the highest class, they've not had a lot of success like they're trying to have this year since, really that 010203. I'm talking about 20 something years ago.
Yeah.
So
But
congratulations, Coach
looking at the
Shelton.
bracket, I feel like
It works out kind of nicely
it
for them if
does.
they keep winning, but they got to win this one. And Brookwood is a team. They need to learn. I know Coach Felton has listened to this intently. I know he's sitting on the edge of his seat in his car as he listens to this. So, Coach, let me help you. Talk to your team about that McEachern about Walton game. Like,
Hmm.
you know, all these teams are good enough to beat you. This is not the
Yeah.
lower divisions. There is somewhere that's not true. All these teams are good enough to beat you. Brookwood is definitely good enough to beat Valdosta, but I got Valdosta for the win. All right, in the bottom quadrant, DC Douglas County beat Lambert, and North Cobb beat Paulding County. Both games were relatively uneventful. Game started kind of close for Douglas County. Lambert, Douglas County pulls away. North Cobb stayed way ahead. North Cobb peaking at the right time. That's a team that
Good.
lost the gas earlier in the year. Coach Queen got a young team. They're always getting better. And North Cobb, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm gonna pick Douglas County because that's who I wrote down weeks ago. Like I already made the bracket at the beginning, and if it goes chalk, I'm trying to stay true to it. But I'm not. I'm picking Douglas County. I don't make sure I'm clear on my pick. I'm not gonna be one of these teetotalers. But it would not shock me if North Cobb
Well, I
upset.
say I'm going North Cobb.
You going for the upset?
I am, and it definitely I feel like will be an upset.
It would definitely be an
I
upset. Douglas County's
even
like a top
though
4 or 5 team.
right, even though North Cobb is a higher like seeded team, and they will be at home, and it's not a far like that. These two places are pretty close.
Well, and
Um, but
you know,
I'm going with North Cobb.
and North Cobb, it has to be brought up because I think they're a really well coached team. And I mean, we talked about Coach Queen and been there since 2006. I looked it up. So 20 consecutive years, basically. He's had 20 seasons at North Cobb in a row, and they've been good in all of them. But they have had like luck has hit like they've had the worst luck at times in the playoffs where like they've had this dominant team and somebody got hurt in the first round, or this
Yeah.
dominant team and they got matched up with
Well,
the national
this
champs
is
in the second round. So they've
this
only
is
made it to the quarterfinals once in the last
yeah,
13 years. Once.
but this is a rematch of last year too, because Douglas County who knocked North Cobb out last year.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying because of that, I actually see it maybe happening. I'm actually giving you a look
Yeah.
like I think it's when you have that team that's a little under the radar and they get better all
Hmm.
year, and they got a little revenge on their mind. Douglas County, our friend Johnny White, he
Yep.
needs to talk to his team about some of these games because anybody can beat you. Douglas County's got the better team, but North Cobb is definitely capable of beating them. That's going to be a really good game to watch. All right, last game in this one, Newton and Buford. Newton beat Peachtree Ridge, which I had
I
that
did
one.
not have. I did not
You
think
did
so.
not
I
have
had
that
Peachtree
one.
Ridge.
I think that was the difference in me winning the bracket versus you. We were one game off, and I had Newton, you had Peachtree Ridge, but I thought it was going to be close. What I did not have was that Newton took it to him.
Yeah. 3 scores.
That was a great job by Newton, man. I hope the Newton guys are excited. I hope they getting them boys a shirt, and I hope they're having a good time because I think this is it.
Yeah. I
Uh,
think most people would agree on that one.
so no offense to Newton, man, ton of respect for you guys, but I got Buford winning the whole thing, so I can't pick against
Yeah.
Buford on anybody. And Buford took it to Richmond Hill like 45-0. Listen, Richmond Hill's good.
Hmm.
Like I think Buford is going to be like, you know,
They're
everybody
going.
knows Buford's good,
Yeah.
but there is a little more talk about Grayson than Buford.
Oh, definitely.
So we'll see about that one. So, all right, that's our picks. So we'll be in the quarterfinals next week. Have even less to talk about, Michael.
Hmm.